Hi, Gateway students. This is Miss Martin. Today I want to talk to you about a great architecture class we have called Dream Houses. Have you ever thought how great it would be to have a trampoline in your room? Or how about a pool on the roof? Well, if you've ever dreamt of having a house like that, then this is the class for you. During this class, you get to design your dream house, which means not only are you the architect, but you're also the owner, so you get to make all the decisions. In this class during the first week, we learn about architecture, and we learn about the different drawings architects use to create the plans for their buildings. Once you've created a floor plan of your dream house, you'll start building it. We use foam core and cardboard and other materials to build your scaled model of your dream house. Many students then, after all the walls and the doors and the windows are taken care of, they decide to decorate their house. Many use paint, spray paint, tissue paper, and lots of other materials. You can decorate your house, you can add landscaping, you can add a zip line if you want to. Whatever you can dream up, you can have in this house. Some even create great roofs that can open up so you can see what's inside. Let's take a look at a few really great examples. I think some of you might be wanting to get started right now, and you can. Let me give you some tips and tricks. I'm going to show you what a building program, a bubble diagram, and a schematic design floor plan are, and how they can help you create the best design possible. Okay, we're ready to get started with our dream house program. What the program is going to do is help us organize the things that we need and the things that we want in our dream house. So let's start with the needs. The first thing we definitely need in our dream house to make it comfortable is have some bedrooms. We also want to make sure we don't forget the bathrooms. We want a place to cook our food, so we're going to put in a kitchen. A place to eat our food, so we'll have a dining room, or it could be like an area. We want a living room to hang out in. We want a garage. Let's make it for 2 cars. And we need a laundry area. So it could be a room, or again, it could just be an area. So these are the things we absolutely need to put into our house to make sure that it's comfortable. Now let's talk about numbers. For my dream house, I'm going to say 4 bedrooms. I want to have 2.5 bathrooms. So what I mean by that is one full bathroom has a toilet, a sink, a shower, or a tub. A half bathroom just has a toilet and a sink. You probably have at least one of each in your home. I would like to have 1 kitchen, 1 dining room area, 1 living room, 1 garage for 2 cars, and 1 laundry room area. Once I've finished up my needs, I go and take care of the wants. Now this is the fun part. These are the fun things you can dream up. For my dream house, I want a backyard pool. And it has to have a jacuzzi. I also want to have a back deck with a barbecue. And in addition to the back deck, I want a front porch. Also outside, I want a garden. Inside, I want to have an art studio. And the other thing that I think could be really fun is to have a movie theater. Now I have my needs and my wants listed out. And the next thing I want to do with my program is to just put any other little notes to myself of things I don't want to forget. So maybe in my bedrooms, I want them all to have a closet. In my kitchen, I want to put down the things I don't want to forget that I need, like a refrigerator, stove, an oven, and a dishwasher. I want to indicate that my dining area will have a table with 6 chairs. I want to make sure my living room is big enough for a big sofa. I want to make sure my garage has plenty of storage. And I want to make sure my laundry room area can fit a full-size washer and dryer. For my backyard pool with jacuzzi, there should be a little lounge area with chairs. I want my deck with barbecue to also have a table with 6 chairs. My front porch could have some seating, maybe even a swing. My garden, I want to have a space for veggies and also for flowers. Okay, my art studio. This is going to be my favorite part of the whole house. I like to do a lot of different types of art. So I want to make sure that my art studio has the space for everything I want to do. So I like to do ceramics. So I would want to have an area for a pottery wheel and a kiln. I love to paint, so I would like to have some large easels. And then all of this stuff I love to do takes a lot of materials and supplies, so I need storage. I'm going to put that in all caps. Let's say my movie theater can fit 8 people. Okay, so I can always add and take away from my program, but now I have it written down and organized, the things I don't want to forget when I take it to the next step, which is to create the bubble diagram. Okay, we're ready to do our bubble diagram. So we're going to use our program to inform our bubble diagram. But as we do our bubble diagram, we're going to take in consideration which spaces or rooms should be near other rooms, and also which spaces and rooms shouldn't be near other rooms. So a bubble diagram to start is just what you would imagine. It's a diagram of bubbles. So bubbles, as you know, are round. And what's nice about the circle is the circle can expand and get bigger, and the circle can shrink and get smaller. So our bubbles in our bubble diagram are going to get larger when we're making a bigger space, and smaller for a smaller room. So let's get started. I want to think about how my guests would enter my home. That's my first thought. So I'm going to start with an entry. Okay, and the entry is the front door. And often right after the entry, right after you walk through the front door, it's nice if there's a little kind of space, this intermediate space from outside to inside. Just a little bit of a reception area or a foyer. After that, my guests would probably normally come over to hang out in the living room. So my living room, I want it to be large. So I'm going to make it a bigger bubble. And it'll be right off of the entry. Often when guests come to visit, they may have taken a pretty long journey. They may have been in the car for a while. So a lot of times they want to use the restroom and freshen up a little bit. So we can put our half bath here. Usually they don't need to take a shower. They just need to freshen up. So that's nice and accessible and it's comfortable for them. A lot of times when people come over, they are also there to eat, right? We like to feed people. So let's make sure our kitchen is really close to the living room. That way, if we're bringing in some snacks or some drinks, we can be very close to the living room and we won't have that far to go. We discussed already a little bit how the dining room should be close to the kitchen, and the dining room should also be close to the living room. So let's put it right here. And this could end up being its own room, or it could just be open into the kitchen and the living room. That way, if my guests come over for dinner, they can go straight into the dining area. And when I bring the food out from the kitchen, it's nice and easily accessible. I don't have to go too far. The other thing we want to think about is what goes on in the kitchen. Obviously, it's where we cook and prepare our food, but it's also where we keep our food. And we get our food usually from the grocery store. And we pick up our groceries in the car. So let's put our garage, it's a big 2-car garage, near the kitchen. And that way, say this is our driveway, and this is the street. That way, when we come into the driveway and go into the garage, we can easily get our groceries out and put them where they belong in the kitchen. Okay, so the next thing we should look at is now the bedrooms. So bedrooms are a private space. So not everybody that you have over for dinner goes into the bedroom, okay? So we want to have more of a public kind of space and a private space. Guests are usually more comfortable in your living room, your kitchen, your dining room, and using a guest bathroom. So we don't want them to have to go through a bedroom to get to any of those spaces. So our bedrooms will be off to the side, and we have 4 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms I want to make a master bedroom. And master bedrooms are usually a little bit bigger, but the main thing that sets them apart is they have their own full bathroom. So I'm going to put my first full bathroom attached to my master bedroom. My other 3 bedrooms will share the other full bathroom. So I'm going to put them off to the side right here. I don't want them super close to my living room for privacy reasons, but I also want it to be somewhat close to the living room so it's easily accessible. So maybe this is bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3, and here's my full bath. And then this area in here will most likely become a hallway of some sort. It could be pretty short and small, but connecting the living room to these bedrooms. Okay, the next thing we need to put in is the laundry. So think about why you do laundry. Laundry is when things get dirty, and the most laundry is going to come from your bedrooms, your clothes, your sheets, and from the bathrooms, your towels. There's also going to be some laundry from the kitchen. So most of my laundry is going to come from my bedrooms, from my clothes, from my sheets and towels in the bathroom. I'm going to have some laundry from my kitchen and then maybe some from my dining room. But the other things I'm going to need to wash is if I get home from either playing soccer or maybe I went mountain bike riding and I have some dirty clothes, then a lot of times those clothes, we don't want to bring them into the house because they're really dirty. So it's nice if we can have a laundry room really close so that we don't really have to bring our dirty clothes inside. So if I put my laundry room right here, then basically what I'm saying is you can go through the laundry room into the kitchen. So maybe it's kind of this intermediate space, kind of like our foyer or entry. And that way, if I get home from my soccer game and my jersey's really dirty, I can leave it in the laundry right here and not actually bring it inside. It's still fairly accessible from my bedrooms and my bathrooms and my kitchen. And if you think about washers and dryers, they usually make a lot of noise. So it's going to be nice for us to have it away from our bedrooms so it doesn't interrupt our sleeping. All right, we took care of the needs. Let's have some fun with the wants. So the first thing I want to put in is my deck, okay? My deck, I want my guests to be able to get to it pretty easily. And I want it to be really near the kitchen. So I'm gonna kind of wrap it around a little bit like this. And this can be my deck with barbecue. And from the deck, we can get to the pool. So I'll have my pool out here. And don't forget the jacuzzi. And the other two things we need outside are the garden and the front porch. So I'd like my garden to be in the best light as possible, best sunlight. But we don't really know what that's gonna be yet. So for now, let's at least put it really close to the kitchen. And that way, while we're growing veggies, we can bring them easily into the kitchen. So let's put our garden just right over here. And then it kind of connects here our veggies to our barbecue and to our kitchen. Okay, for my art studio, I want this to be my special place. So it's gonna be a little bit private. I don't want it to get too noisy. I like when I do my art to be able to listen to music and not be distracted by anything. So I'm gonna put it off to the side as its own little building. So kind of like a little shed. And I think it'd look really good over here. For a few different reasons. One is that one of the things I really love to paint are flowers. So if I'm near the garden, then I'm really close to one of my favorite things to paint. I also really like it near the jacuzzi because then if I've been working really hard in my art studio and I need a little break, I can go relax in the jacuzzi and look out to my garden. Okay, lastly, we have a movie theater, and there's pretty much anywhere we can put a movie theater. Usually movie theaters have really good sound absorption, so they don't really make a lot of noise that would disrupt people, but still you probably don't want it right next to your bedrooms. So how about we put it kind of off here, off the garage. This can be our theater. And that way, if our friends are hanging out, they're in the living room, we are in the pool, we're barbecuing, then they can come right over and enjoy a movie to end the night. My front porch, I almost forgot. My front porch is just gonna wrap around my entry. Like that. So now I have my bubble diagram done, and I can use this bubble diagram to start my first schematic floor plan, which we'll do now. Okay, I'm ready to get started on my first initial floor plan. I'm going to use this bubble diagram to help me remember which spaces need to be near each other and which should not. So I'm going to keep this off to the side, but have it right in front of me, and I'm going to use it to inform my floor plan. Now that I'm using a floor plan, I want to use some graph paper. So if you don't have graph paper, that's fine, but get yourself a ruler or a straight edge, something that helps you get a really nice straight line. Most of our rooms are going to be rectangular. That's usually how we set them up. It's a nice way to be able to fit furniture, but they don't all have to be. So don't make yourself have to do boxes all the time. Okay, if you want to throw some curves in there, go for it. So to start, I'm going to start with my little entry. Much like my bubble diagram. But now I'm going to get a little bit more rectilinear. So if I say that this is my door here. I'm looking down from above. So a floor plan is essentially us looking down like we're birds flying above. Okay, and imagine the building has been sliced and you can see inside of it. So if we're looking from above, this is going to be what our door looks like. And then maybe around my door is where this entry is. But I don't need to really separate it from my spaces. So if I don't want to put a wall in, I just put a dashed line or a dotted line. All right, so then we can go into the living room. So I want my living room to be pretty big, and we're just doing schematic for right now. So things can get bigger, and they probably will need to once we start really putting things in. But let's put our living room in. And our half bath. Okay, we can have a doorway to our half bath coming right off the living room. And we don't have to put all these doors in or windows in yet because this is just the initial plan. But if you want to start thinking about how things are going to flow and how people are going to walk from one area to another, you can go ahead and start putting them in. The other thing we wanted to put in was our kitchen. So maybe our kitchen can be kind of right off from here. And then our dining room could be off from here. Then maybe you can get from the kitchen to the living room, dining, kitchen to dining, that way. While we're over here, let's put in our garage. So we can have our 2-car garage here. And then we thought about putting a movie theater off to the side. We'll come back to that one. If we imagine though, our street is somewhere around here and our driveway can come right up to the garage. We talked about having a little bit of a laundry area. So maybe that's right here. And once you park in the garage, you could maybe walk through the laundry here. And then maybe this is your washer, and then our dryer's over here. And that way it's just a nice little path in and out from the kitchen to the garage. You could even expand this area and create a pantry where you keep all of your dry foods. Okay, let's put in our master bedroom. So we want our master bedroom to be off of the living room with its own bathroom. So what I'm thinking is maybe I can actually extend it out from here. And you could enter the house, the bedroom here, and then you could have your full bath. Right over here. Now, before we put the other bedrooms in, let's put in our deck and pool, just so we can kind of think about this a little bit. Okay, so my deck, I want it to be pretty big, so I'm going to have it, I liked that curve that we did, so I'm gonna curve it around. And that way it opens right out from the living room. And if I have people coming over for a backyard barbecue, they can come through the front and they immediately see where to go, which is nice. It makes people feel comfortable. So I'm gonna have my deck here. And I want my pool nearby. And my jacuzzi, which could be part of my pool. And my garden. So I'm gonna put in my artist studio first, and then my garden can kind of just fill in around there. So then maybe my vegetables hang out over here and my flowers are over here. Either way. The movie theater could be attached to my studio. So maybe we do something like that in the back. Maybe it's attached to the studio and to the garage. And then you can just enter through there. And maybe our big screen is right here. So we're starting to see what looks a little bit more like a floor plan. We want our porch, and maybe it'd be cool if our porch was so big that you could access it from the master bedroom and from the dining room. Okay, my last bedrooms are gonna be over here somewhere. So we wanna have 3 bedrooms and 1 full bath. So let's put them in right here. We'll kind of extend where our lines are, our walls are here, and see if that'll work for our bedrooms. So with this way, we could kind of use this line here, and this would be our hallway, and it would go back into here. And then maybe we have, let's see. Something like that. We can work that out later. So then maybe I have a bedroom here. Maybe I have another one here. Maybe this line should kind of go over a little bit. And then I have my full bath, which is nice and private, and then my other bedroom right here. Okay, and like I said, this is just us laying it out. Some of these will become walls. Some might become more just a transition space. So we may want to put in some dashed lines or dotted lines here to indicate that it would all be open. And maybe this would be open as well. And then this is nice because this bedroom would have a nice view. These bedrooms would have a little bit more privacy going this way. And they're far enough away from our laundry that it doesn't make too much noise, but they're still pretty accessible to it as well. Okay, did I get everything? I think so for now. And this is how I would set up my first schematic floor plan. Now, when I say schematic, it means it's the first one. We don't just lay down one thing and call it a day. We now want to rework this over and over and over till we get the best design possible. Thank you for watching this video introducing you to the Gateways Architecture class called Dream Houses. I hope to see you in class.